The absolute worst bit of writing in this issue is the explanation of how John ended up on Earth 3 with the crime syndicate for 7 years. Every month is another reminder that Bendis on Superman was a bad idea. Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes, and today I'm going to review Superman number 10. So I'm going to be honest, Bendis almost got one over on me this issue. When I finished reading it, I was feeling pretty good. I just read a pretty okay Superman comic. A nice step up for the series in all honesty. But when I started preparing for the review, I realized nothing really happens, and most of the payoffs absolutely suck. Bendis has the world's largest horseshoe up his ass. Having artists like Ivan Reis and Steve Epting mask a lot of the issues with Superman and the slightly better Action Comics. With average artists, Bendis and his writing would be fully exposed as substandard and unworthy of an iconic character. Ivan Reis is the primary artist with help from Brandon Peterson. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but the art looks to have taken a step backward this week. It is still good and easily the best thing about the issue. Grandpa Jor-El returns this month and has a decidedly older and more weathered look, which plays heavily into the story. There are plenty of sprawling pages, and the detail work is first rate. Rice and Peterson are at their best when the action is hot and heavy, which makes it all the more unfortunate Superman does absolutely nothing the entire issue. Alex Sinclair is the color artist, and his work is excellent, as readers have come to expect. The team do their best to elevate these static pages of conversation, which thankfully are kept to a minimum. Ultimately, this issue, and the series as a whole, have become a huge waste of the artist's time and talents. The sooner DC Comics realizes Bendis' take on Superman is an abject failure, the better. These artists deserve to move to titles that have a chance to succeed and showcase their abilities. Overall, the art is really good, and I rate it a 3.5 out of 5. Despite the best efforts of Ivan Reis and the team, they can't cover up the stench that is Bendis' writing. This issue, like the last, is John explaining to his parents what happened to him during his 7 years in space. It's sunk by really bad dialogue and payoffs. John explains he was being attacked by an evil, superpowered version of his mother on Earth 3. He says, "I wasn't going to fight her, you," and then delivers a Bendis masterclass in trash dialogue. "I was happy to find out I had no pent-up stuff about you that this could have triggered." Oh man, this is lame. No 10-year-old or 17-year-old would ever speak like this. Bendis also continues butchering Lois Lane's character, and at one point she refers to John directly as boy. I guess he got an advanced screening of Bird Box or something. Moving on. Most of the character work in the issue is concentrated on Grandpa El and his further descent into madness. He rescues John, and when they board his ship, he accuses John of jumping into the wormhole, despite seeing him sucked in firsthand. It's also never explained how Gramps didn't get sucked in himself, but Bendis isn't really a detail guy these days. Jor-El claims he searched for John for years, and it's clearly taken a physical and psychological toll on him. Filled with regret, Grandpa exclaims, "You have no idea what deals I have made. You have no idea." Later, it appears he's referring to Rogal Zar, the villain introduced earlier in the series and never mentioned again until this issue. The absolute worst bit of writing in this issue is the explanation of how John ended up on Earth 3, which should be destroyed, with the crime syndicate for 7 years. Bendis was with Marvel for a long time before arriving at DC. Many readers probably guessed correctly, time travel is involved. Jor-El discovered the black hole that took John was a time flux generator on top of a tear in the dimensional slide, brought on by an apocalyptic event at the source wall that has only happened once. Yeah, if Bendis could make this explanation a bit denser, I would really appreciate that. Let's not even get into how Jor-El could successfully find an individual who was sucked through space and time. It would literally be impossible. I also have a personal vendetta against any writer using the source wall, one of the dumbest tropes DC Comics ever introduced. Bendis successfully conveys the extent of Jor-El's madness, but the dialogue has major issues. The explanation of how John could visit Earth 3 makes sense to a degree, but it's still a shit payoff. I rate the characterization 1.5 out of 5. I wish I could say the plot is a step up, but it's also very disappointing. It begins where issue 9 finished. John explains he snuck into an evil Justice League headquarters and encounters Earth 3's Superwoman. She attacks him, but he can't fight back because she's his mommy. Grandpa shows up out of nowhere. Apparently he invented time-traveling technology and transports the two back through time and space to his ship. Jor-El tells John all he's been through trying to locate him. He gives John his Superboy uniform, and there's a sudden, large explosion. Gar and crew arrive, likely to collect on the ambiguous deal Grandpa L spoke of earlier. Rosal is coming for John when Jor-El shoots him with his boomstick and transfers John back to Earth, where he splashes down in a mall in Wisconsin. I honestly can't imagine a lazier, more unsatisfying way to explain his return to Earth. Superman realizes he needs to return to space and confront both his father and Gar. He asks John to suit up and join him, which he does happily. Lois claims she'll handle Leviathan while Clark takes care of his father. Lois sends John off with the words, "Kick Grandpa's butt and come home." Superman grabs John and they launch into space and right into a huge intergalactic battle. You likely noticed, as I did, Superman did nothing super or heroic this issue. I believe between Superman 9 and 10 and Action Comics 1008 and 9, it's been 2 whole months of Superman just observing. When did he become the damn Watcher? This story should have been wrapped up in Superman 9, and this was drawn out way too long. Most of the payoffs are nonsensical or downright lazy. I rate the plot a 1 out of 5. Every month is another reminder that Bendis on Superman was a bad idea. Not only has he ruined the character and his family, but his stories are treading water. I'm glad Superman will get a chance to do something heroic next month, but issue 10 is a complete waste. The art salvages the poor writing to a degree, and I rate Superman number 10 a 2 out of 5 overall. Between the two books, the flagship Superman title is inferior to Action Comics, and it makes you wonder what DC editorial are thinking. Sales of both titles are trending down fast, and there's almost no hope that Bendis' Superman run will ever be considered anything but a financial and creative failure. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.